welcome to whatever this is. I want to talk about what we do for each other a little bit more. I talked about it a little bit in love and compatibility, but I didn't really talk about it. I didn't really even understand it. Some of the things I do now. So naturally, here we are, and I want to talk about you know, just some of the ways that we give to each other. Now, if you're not a duality with someone in your relationship with them, then you're going to be extending yourself. You're going to be taking parts of yourself that are not prominent, that are not your playground, parts of yourself that may not be that intuitive for you to invoke within yourself, and you're going to be balancing that person with. And we do this subconsciously. We do this on this level of connection, and this And so when we are very not much in duality, when we have got very few in common, there will be a lot of downtime. There will be a lot of time where we're just not really there with each other, not connected, right? But if you're semi-duality, like the prevailing archetypes would be, then you're usually connected. But then, of course, you have that internal turbulence, that little bit of struggle within the plecto axis. And the census axis. And so that's just the natural way of things for most of history. But when you do have duality, and when exactly who you are balances someone else, and exactly who they are balances you, and I try to get away from the romanticism because our culture's got plenty of it. We need no lessons on the possibility and the beauty of romantic love, and everything that can come from it. We don't need to know anything else about that other than, I think, how to find it, and other than what it could look like. And this is dangerous in some ways, because it's like, oh God, how can you come back from something so beautiful that you never knew you could have until you do? And it's kind of ignorance is kind of a blessing in that way, I think. And so we've got to be able to carve a new story and a new possibility. We've got to give something better. We've got to give something better than we had before, at least, right? Because not everyone is going to be able to have duality on the level of romantic partners or even intimate friendships. They're going to have to settle. And that's fine, because census can be this, that's life. That's living in the world. That's not life, but that's being in the world, That's being in our world, being here and in the now. And that is kind of, that's how we think of human experience on an average level, right? And so that can be completely fulfilling, and that can be and not completely fulfilling, but that can be a full experience, and we can draw upon plecto across the many ways that we do. And in human history, that was fine. We had the shaman and the sage that would be able to balance the tribe in their relevant axes. And I think the average tribe number was a certain number, and I bet that the proportion of plecto among society reflects that number. But we would have to do a way better study of it to actually find out. So when you do have duality, or you are interacting with it, some of the things that people give to other people naturally, and they might not be able to appreciate it, suddenly it's all appreciated. Suddenly it's all received. Suddenly it's, you guys can hate each other. You guys can have this, I'm a Republican, you're a Democrat, I freaking hate you, you suck. We have no common interest. You could be completely different age groups, and yet it just doesn't matter. And in fact, some of the most cool, I think, stories and media and stuff is when we have the protagonist and the antagonist as duality, and you have this tension within their conflict, in the sense that they'd be far better off being allies. And you can think of situations like this, like in another life, we would have been comrades, stuff like that, right? And so that's a beautiful thing to think about in the stories. But in our own lives, my gosh. So, for example, what do I offer? Well, to be unbiased, it's hard, but I'll always be interesting. Always be offering variety, unpredictable. You cannot predict a day with me, ever. It won't happen. it's not predictable. It's going to be wild and exciting and hopefully authentic and in regard to deeper feelings, deeper emotions. So that that's kind of what I've got going on for me, and be able to guide an ethical way, but not in a overwhelming way. The story of the humble kran in that way of ethics, because it's subconscious yet strong, so we don't really have that value, and that confidence in knowing our values with it, but we still get it, and it'll still happen long term. It'll still happen, short term overall, within the cracks, right, and all that. And that's what I offer. And then my duality, the lovely decision is they're the kind of person who can be so open-minded, and they have such a huge space for you, and they have so much so much grounding that they can offer. They're a well of peace, and then when they accept you, it can be like with where you're at, with where you're coming from as this human being, as this on the essence level of it. I think on the essence of the it's hard to describe, but on that level, I think that they're not just gonna, oh, I like you for that. They're gonna accept all of you. There's this sort of I think that's kind of a quality of their love is they're going to accept all of you, and that's kind of where they're trying to go with it, and be that for you, and be that anchor, and the like, and and so for someone like me, of course, that's excellent, because there's a lot of weird nooks and crannies of who I am to accept, and so in the process, I think in the process of being able to enjoy and experience me, and be able to receive and have the space for me, it's going to be an enjoyable and fun ride because they're able to have that grounding to be able to handle the many weird and eclectic, I think by definition eclectic aspects of who I am, and what I am. And where I'm going, where they're going. It's twin flame duality. It's this thing that we kind of know about. It's this thing that we kind of pursue and crave deeply, and that romantic thing, the Twilight phase, the 2000s, the romantic, I don't know why I invoked Twilight, but it's this thing that we kind of subconsciously know is there. People can find it. You see people finding it. We see it on The Office. Jim and Pam, Michael and Dwight. We see this in our world, and it's beautiful. And it's sort of this like bow shock. That's not. that's the wave of the electromagnetic, the magnetosphere of Earth interacting with the solar wind. No, it's this like, whoa. It's like, you kind of just have to, pace yourself. Like maybe you're just kind of giving yourself this constant stress, but then you experience duality. You see this authenticity and this wholeheartedness and this true connection, this deeper connection, this automatic connection. You see this deep, intimate, comfort and safety, and then they offer it, because that's what people do. They offer what they've got with you, and you experience, you see it, and it's like, I think that it's awing, awesome, right, and inspiring as well. However, and I don't have that much experience witnessing it. Only, I do have experience with duality. So I have experience with both, but just not extensively. So I'm just going to try to touch on them. And if you can be around it, oh, beautiful. If your leaders have it, you want your leaders to have it. When your leaders are able to have that balance, they are able to perform optimally. They have the peace, and they can handle what comes at them. The role of a leader, the responsibility, they're able to handle that in a way that, I don't want to make comparisons that I can't prove, or anything, but That's what you want, you know. And you know, if you can get it, of course, lovely. Oh god, this is a long video. So I've literally just talked about me and my duality, so kind of self-serving, kind of a in that way. But I guess I'll talk about the other ones too. I'll probably cover every other one in a separate video, because you know, I can just talk so much about me and my duality. And I've seen I had an Aikido instructor, this old Japanese guy, and he was great, and he was my duality, and we had this connection. And it's like, you never know where it's gonna be. It doesn't matter what interests you have, what they look like. It doesn't matter. None of these things. I'm not talking about romance here, please don't misunderstand. I'm just talking about the connection. It doesn't matter where you're coming from or what you believe in, even. It doesn't matter who you think you are on a level of identity. You know, you could be a damn psychopath who believes in nothing but death and murder and mayhem, and then you meet this, you know, as in a beautiful story form, believable story form, as the desensus that's lost their faith, their hope, and their belief in humanity. And you have the ex-mecto come about. The beauty of ex-mecto, my God. You know, one of the most altruistic and powerful people in our society, given what they can do with their affluence, the prevailing male archetype, their balance. They, you know, and being able to see them to kind of just break down in front of that person and say, but it's beautiful, humanity is beautiful, but this world, we have life, we have mystery, we have, and you never had someone to believe in you, and I'm sorry, but come with me, there's another way, you know, and that forgiveness. You know, even though this person might be about to sack all of humanity, they're still human. And just someone being able to forgive someone for that, but someone being able to say, you're still human, them finally getting that acceptance, you know, that creates this great climax, this great story. Of course, not a great story in real life. Please never destroy the world and humanity or anything, but, you know. And so, anyway, and I'll be providing guides, of course, for, you know, just to repeat myself, I'll be providing guides for media and, you know, where to find this stuff and how it manifests in non-living stimuli, right? So I'll be talking about all that, and where you can, you know, sort of learn more about it if you find this as profound and, you know, as I do. Anyway.